Hello, and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. Today we have a very special broadcast for you today. I want to thank you. We are continuing our series, 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. Yes, 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. I don't understand, many may not understand the concept of this, but life is a game. And in the weeks becoming, we will get more into that. But this right here, every week we take one of the secrets that's in the book. You can get it from you can get it off of Amazon. I wrote a book, 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. And I believe that these secrets will begin to open things up, begin to shift your consciousness, and begin to put you in a place where you can definitely begin to manifest and begin to create the world in which you would want to live in. If this is your first time listening to us, we want to say welcome. Please let us know what city, what state, what country you're listening into from. And also, if you can, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and also, if this message or any of our previous messages have been a blessing to you, please, by all means, go ahead and click the share button and share it to 5 of your friends, your loved ones, anybody that you know that can benefit from this information. So we want to say thank you. Mastering the game of life is not something that you just go take a course and then that's it. It's an ongoing process. It's a process that allows you to evolve and to go to high levels of consciousness as you expand and as you continue to build your life in the way that you want it. Here at the Temple of Enlightenment, we don't believe that our life is already set in place for us. We believe that we have the ability to create it and our own reality, and that we have the ability to shift our destiny. As you listen to these teachings, it is imperative that you don't just listen to them, but that you take the golden nuggets, the jewels that you get out of here, and begin to apply them to your life. What I want to do is, as you get in a quiet position, let us get into our mind treatment, and then we'll go ahead and get into today's topic. If you can, go ahead and take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Once again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Once again, take another deep breath and inhale and exhale. I recognize that there is one life, one power, one infinite intelligence that is called the stars into being and breathes galaxies into existence. Presence is everywhere in everything, moving as the external source of all that is. It is the author of the cosmic spirit, the director of the universal stage, the producer of every divine production, and the actor in every soul. And I know that this very presence lives in me, through me, as me. I am not here by accident. My birth was not random. My existence is not a coincidence. The very day I entered this world, the infinite announced, purpose has arrived. I am divinely necessary. I am cosmically ordained. Today I affirm that I am awakened to my way. The veil is lifted. The fog is cleared. I am no longer rehearsing false roles, no longer living someone else's script, no longer dimming my light to fit into small spaces. I boldly embody my assignment. I live my why with clarity, conviction, and courage. My life is a masterpiece unfolding. Prosperity flows, health radiates, love surrounds, peace abides. My why finds me, fuels me, and fulfills me. I am the producer of my reality, the author of my script, the director of my vision, and the actor of my divine drama. I give thanks right now with a heart overflowing in gratitude that it is already done. My birth and my why are one eternal day, and I live in the joy of that revelation every moment. And so it is, and so it is. I want to talk today from the subject, the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. I want to talk about the two most important days of your life. And I believe that these two most important days will definitely help us in mastering and mastering the game of life, understanding the concepts, understanding the 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 ways of how we were implemented here. We're here on purpose. You know how many people are listening to me right now that never really thought about why they were born? You know how many people here are listening to me now that's never thought about, wait a minute, you mean that there's a purpose for me? I wasn't just put here just to be put here. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And we gather not just to hear the words, but to awaken to something that is very uh, narrow on your being. I want you to hear me clearly today when I speak, because what I'm about to unfold is not philosophy, it's not motivation, it's not a feel good affirmation. This is the unveiling of a cosmic truth that will reverberate in the chambers of your soul long after my voice fades. There's a quote that has traveled through the ages. They say that Mark Twain is the origin of this quote. And that quote is basically our subject for today. The two most important days in your life are the days you were born and the day you find out why. The day you were born, that is the day you entered the stage, the curtain lifted, and you stepped into the drama of existence. But the day you find out why, that is the day you finally get your script. That is the day you stop wandering around on stage with no direction and start playing your role with precision, power, and purpose. I often say life is not random, it is written. And you, whether you know it or not, are both the actor and the author, the producer, and the director of your own sacred film. The challenge is most people live and die without ever finding out why they were cast in the play at all. They confuse activity with purpose. They confuse survival with living. They confuse noise with music. When you were born, the heavens signed a contract. You breathe, your heartbeat began to beat, your cry, your very presence. It was a signature written in starlight. When you were born, the planets were positioned in a certain position, in a certain place. And when many come for a consultation, what we do is we look at your natal chart. And you say, well, what is your natal chart? The natal chart is a snapshot, it's a picture of where the planets were positioned at the time, the place, and the day you were born. The natal chart, the wheel of symbols and glyphs, is not just an abstract diagram. It is your personal script notes. It is the map your soul drew before it descended into time. The day you were born is not just some date on the calendar. It is the intersection between eternity and time. When you look at your first breath, you initiate the heavens to open. The day you were born is your entrance into the great theater of existence. But too many people dismiss the day as simply biological. It's the day my mother went into labor. It was the day that the universe conspired to manifest a new vibration. It was the day purpose took form into flesh. Your birth was not an accident, no matter what the story your family told you. Maybe you were unplanned. Maybe you were born into chaos, into struggle, into poverty, heartbreak. But I wanted you to get an understanding today. You were divinely necessary. The universe doesn't waste energy and it doesn't manufacture mistakes. This is why the science of astrology and numerology are so powerful. They are not fortune-telling toys. They are codes, keys, portals into the ways of your birth. Your sun sign is not just a zodiac label. It is your core identity, the light that you shine. And when you begin to understand that, that's why everybody, I tell people all the time, everybody needs to understand who they are. And when you understand who you are, it gives you a different significance about life when you realize why you came into this incarnation and get an understanding of what your purpose, your destiny is. Your moon sign is the emotional rhythm of your soul, the inner script that drives your reactions and needs. Your rising sign, I know some of this sounds like you guys don't know what I'm speaking of, but these are the things that are attributes or discussions within astrology. Numerology speaks to, your life path number. Some of us were, we look at our birthdays, we look at certain things, what year we're in, the year that the world is experiencing. There's so much different things going on because inside of your world, you have one thing going on, but then it's the global world, what's going on in the world as well. I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Even if you're listening to this in your car, or on the couch, close your inner eye. Picture yourself in a great theater. The curtain is drawn, the seats are filled, the orchestra is turning. Suddenly the curtain rises, and there you are, standing in the spotlight. That was the day you were born. The audience, this world, didn't yet know your script, but came carrying it, filled upside down and inside out with your purpose. Your birthday is not just behind you, it is within you. Every year when the sun returns to that degree, remember why you came. Each cycle, each birthday, it's not a random celebration of survival. It's a reset button, a reminder that your life is not over until your purpose is complete. Your birthday, remember this, Your birthday is not to be taken lightly. It's sacred. It's a holy. It's a divine. It's a divine element within yourself. Being born is not enough. Being alive is not the same as living. Too many people stop at day one. They say, I'm here, but they never ask, why am I here? The question is the bridge between existing and thriving, between wandering and walking with direction, between living as a victim of circumstances and living as a vessel of destiny. You must reclaim your sacredness of your birth. So don't downplay your existence. Stop apologizing for being here. Stop drinking to make yourself comfortable. The day you were born was a cosmic announcement. The universe says, I have one role for the soul, and play in the and to play around will not be accepted. One role for the soul. And that role is to operate and to move in your destiny of who you are. If you do not discover your why, you will spend your entire life rehearsing lines that were never meant for you. You will play roles that didn't fit. You will wear costumes that don't align, and you will bow at the wrong curtain calls. And when your time comes, you will realize you never actually lived your own script. The day you find out why you were born, this is the awakening that changes everything. This is not a date circled on your calendar. This is a moment that shakes your soul. The day you discover why you're born, you stop you stop breathing to survive and you start breathing to live. You know, many people may not want to hear this, but your why is not found in the applause of others. It is not in the titles they gave you, the jobs they promoted you to, the salaries they pay you. Your why is not discovered by climbing somebody else's ladder. It is found in listening to the inner voice, the whisper that has been calling since birth. This is who you are. This is what you came to do. Everything has a final cause, a purpose. The, the tree knows its purpose: to grow, to give oxygen, to provide shade, to bear fruit. The river knows its purpose: to flow, to carve the valleys, to quench thirst. But humanity, with all of our brilliance, is the only species that doubts why we exist. We question, we wonder, we try on endless mask, forgetting the script was already within us when we took our first breath. The tragedy is not death. The tragedy is never discovering why you lived. The tragedy is to be born and then never to be awakened. But I got good news for you, my friend. Your why is not lost. It is buried under layers of conditioning. Society told you who to be. Religion told you who to be. School told you who to be. Family told you who to be. But your why is not written by them. It is encoded in your soul. Somebody says, well, Issachar, how do you find out your why? Where do I find that why? You just said that it was encoded in my soul. And so I don't know anything about it. This is my first time listening to you today. How do I find my why? You look for the clues. What sets your soul on fire? What do you lose track of time doing? What problem in the world makes you weep, makes you rage, makes you ache until you rise to do something about it? What comes naturally to you without effort, like breathing? This is your why knocking on the door. Here's an exercise that I recommend some of you who want to learn about your why. Uh, you will get a piece of paper and just write down some questions. What do I love? What am I good at? What does the world need that I can offer? Your why does not have to look like mine. It doesn't have to be on a stage or behind a microphone. Your why might be raising children who will transform the world. Your why might be building a business that creates jobs for others. Your why might be writing books, teaching classes, singing songs, healing the sick, feeding the poor, mentoring the forgotten, or simply living as an example of joy in the world addicted to misery. And and here's the complete honest truth. When you are aligned with your why, the universe bends to support you. Doors begin to open. Um, synchronicities appear. Synchronicities appear. Provision flows because the universe funds purpose. The universe funds purpose. It does not fund laziness. It does not fund indecision. It does not fund fear. But if you set boldly into your why, everything you need will be provided. I like to say this and kind of declare and decree this. You were not born to simply pay bills and die. You were not born to just stumble through days and call it life. You were born with purpose. And the day you discover it, you will feel more alive in one moment of truth than in the years of wondering. The day of your birth was the day the universe placed raw clay on the potter's wheel. You were not finished. You were potential raw material. Birth is a blank canvas, but your why is the painting. Birth is the key, but your why is the door it opens. Your birth is the seed, but your why is the tree, the fruit, the harvest. You know, so many people say, I was born, so that's enough. Being born means masterful, the raw material has been delivered. The blank canvas has been delivered. Now the sculpture must go to work. I talked about last week. We talked about that life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you, but they're supposed to give you the motivation, the power, the will to go forward into your journey, make you stronger. And so oftentimes your journey will feel like struggle. Struggle is not punishment. It is sculpturing. The pressure you feel, the resistance you endure, the pain you survive, these are not random acts. They are the hammer and the chisel shaping you into the vessel capable of carrying your why. Some of you have survived storms in your life that should have killed you. Many of us have been through situations and circumstances, and you'll look back over your life now and say, you know what, I don't even know how I made it this far. You know, I was in a situation where I could have died, I killed, anything could have happened, but I'm here now. You've walked through fire and come out smelling like destiny. You've been rejected, betrayed, abandoned, overlooked, and thought those things were happening to you, but they were happening for you. They were shaping the raw material into a masterpiece. Imagine yourself standing in front of a mirror on the day you were born. You're just an infant, but in the reflection, you see your higher self, wise, radiant, powerful. That higher self has been guiding you all along. I know why we came here. Don't forget, but as you grow, the voices of the world drown out the whisper. School teaches you conformity. Family imposes their fears. Culture divides success. In shallow terms, the whisper gets buried under the noise. You are not you are not gone forever. You are not unfinished forever. You are not incomplete forever. You are becoming, you are unfolding. And the day you discover your why is the day that the raw materials begins to shine like diamond cut to perfection. You know, some people will look at life and say, I was born, I got married, I loved my wife, I took care of my family, I raised my kids the best that I could, and that was my life. I worked 30 years for the government. I retired, and now I'm in my retirement. And so that person doesn't have a clue that there was a purpose. He shouldn't have to go through life just existing without being connected and in alignment with your destiny of why you were here, your purpose. Because you want to be able to find fulfillment in life and begin to operate in what you're doing. And so that's why I want you to understand the distinction between existing and living. Existing is not living. Existing is getting up, going to work, paying bills, eating, sleeping, and repeating. It is being on the treadmill of life, running in place but not arriving anywhere. Living, however, is moving with intention. It is when every step you take is infused with meaning. It is when the mornings are not accidents but orchestrations. The day you find out why you were born, the treadmill breaks, the fog clears, the chains of survival crack open, and suddenly you see your life is not about going through, It's about what you are going to. Your why rarely whispers in your leisure. It announces itself in the fire. It reveals itself in crisis. Think back over your life, the heartbreak that broke you, the failure that humbled you, the door that slammed in your face. Those were not punishments, those were invitations. Your why hides in the rubble of a breakdown. Those of you who have been following us, you've been following our different series. And the reason I say that is because everything goes into alignment. I always follow spirit, and I always ask spirit, what's the next topic? What's the next message that I have to give to the people? And so we go through these series, and it seems like all these series take us to the next level. Every obstacle is a compass. Uh, just a couple of series ago, we were talking about the compass and the map, the life road map, right? Every obstacle is a compass. Every rejection is a redirection. Every wound is a map leading you to your way. You thought betrayal was the end, but it was the doorway. You thought divorce was destruction, but it was an unveiling. You thought the layoff was failure, but it was an alignment. Life was saying, stop rehearsing someone else's lines. Here's your script. Stop rehearsing someone else's lines. Here's your script. How many of us, up until this point, have been going by what everybody else wants us to do, going by what we believe people would like from us? We're always living to please everybody else. We're living to vicariously through our parents, vicariously through our family, and all of the things that we went through. But when you find out why you were born, it puts you in a position now where you want to start to move into a place where I want to live for me. I want to create my own reality now, because your perception changes. The way that you see life changes, and when that happens, it takes you to another place. Your why doesn't just serve you, it serves others. Your why is never selfish. Purpose is always tied to impact. You cannot make impact until you first make contact. So keep in mind that purpose is always tied to impact. If your why doesn't bless someone else, it's just ambition. Ambition feeds the ego, but purpose feeds the world. I'm actually offering like our consultations are still going. Those of you that are saying, "Hey, man, you know what? Um, I want more information about this. I want to find out. Yes, I know the day that I was born, but I want to find out why. I want to know why I was born. I want to know what my destiny. What should I be doing in this season of my life at this age? What should I, be doing, or what direction should I be moving into? Um, you know, to get more clarity about your life, to get more clarity about everything in life, go ahead and book a consultation with me. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see not only about the day you were born, but to also find out why you were born. Why I don't want to exist anymore. I want to live now. I want to begin to live. And in order for me to live, I've got to be in a position of clarity, of self-awareness, because I understand that self-awareness is going to take me into a place where the way that I look at myself, the way that I see life, will begin to change now. Because when people say stuff like, "Oh, this person is, oh, they're woke," and now that we're supposed to be woke and we have this information, when I say that somebody is woke or awakened, it's usually when they come to the realization of who they are. They finally found their purpose. They found them. I always say that in life you see people trying to find themselves, and you see people that may go through different religions. They just may go through different things in life. They may move from one side of the country to the other. They may just do drastic different things because they feel like life is it's something about life that allows us to move around and do things. And you're looking, you have a void. You're trying to find that void, and you don't realize that you're doing everything on the outside. And to fill that void, it must be done from within. Because you can never find God and not find you. And you can never find you and not find God. There's no separation. It's oneness. It's oneness. And so when you understand that oneness, you move into that level of certainty. There is there is always one thing I want to look at. It's called the shift. Once you know your why, you cannot play small anymore. You can't do the same things that you used to do. Because listen, when you understand your why, your level of consciousness changes. And so when your consciousness, because your consciousness is your only reality. So every time your consciousness changes, what happens is we get into that place. We get into that place where we begin to understand and move into a place where life looks different. Some of you, let me give you an example. If we all were in a building and we were downstairs on the first floor, you know, it's a lot going on. It's on the first floor. But if you go all the way to the penthouse on the top, things are different. It may be quiet. You may be able to see over the coast, take a look at the views. You're so high up, you can see everything. You're looking down on everything because you're in the penthouse, high rise, on the rooftop, right? Same thing in life. When you find out your why, it takes you from the bottom, from level one, and it takes you to the penthouse. It takes you to the rooftop. And the view up there is much more different, my friend, than the view down below. And so you ask yourself, am I existing or am I living? If I ask everybody listening to me right now, are you existing or are you living? What would you say? Are you existing or are you living? You will not wander forever. You will not waste your days rehearsing a script that was never yours. The second most important day is arriving, the day when you awaken to your why you were born. And when that day comes, life itself will bow and say, welcome to your destiny. When I look at purpose, purpose to me is very important. Um, and, we talked about last week, money is, is not the root of all evil. We talked about the lack of money is the root of all evil. When you are living in your why, money becomes a byproduct. When you are living outside your why, money becomes a struggle. One of the formulas I believe that works, ladies and gentlemen, is passion plus your purpose equals prosperity. Passion plus your purpose will equal prosperity. When you're aligned with purpose, you awaken and you are very spiritually energetic. When you are fueled by passion and you work with fire, and when you pour those into the world, prosperity flows back as a divine exchange. Look at the people who inspire you the most: the artists, the teachers, the leaders, the innovators. They are not chasing checks, they are chasing their callings. And because they chased their calling, the checks chased them. Now, when we talk about this journey that we're speaking on today, I want to make it clear that I'm not promising you that when you get into this understanding of your why, that every day will be easy. There will be challenges, but I am saying that when you are aligned with purpose, you attract provision, the opportunities, the people, the resources, the doors. They open, not because you beg for them, but because the universe recognizes alignment. Alignment is a powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Alignment. It's nothing more better when nothing more greater than life is when you are in alignment. You know, when I when I discovered my why, it kind of it blew my mind. It kind of was something that excited me. It was something that I loved. It's something that once I once I connected to my why, it I felt like a new me, like I had been reborn. And I think when you get to that place, you'll feel the same way. I want to say this: your why is your wealth. Wealth is not just dollars; it's abundance of health, joy, love, peace, and yes, financial overflow. True wealth is when your purpose pays your bills. True wealth is when you no longer have to fragment yourself between what you love and what sustains you. Let me say that again. True wealth is when you no longer have to fragment yourself between what you love and what sustains you. That's why everybody needs to align themselves with purpose and prosperity. And there's some great benefits of getting an alignment between your purpose and prosperity. You begin to identify the gift. What has God, the universe, source, placed in your hands? What comes naturally to you? This is your gift. Number 2, benefit of aligning your purpose and prosperity. Marry the gift to service. Who can you bless with it? How does it solve a problem? Purpose always solves a problem. Number 3, pour passion into it. Don't do it halfway. Burn for it. Radiate with it. Show up like the world has been waiting for you. Package it. Prosperity flows through structure. Write the book. Launch the business. Teach the class. Create the program. Package the gift so it can reach the people. Receive the exchange. Don't shrink from compensation. Don't apologize for being paid. Receiving is part of divine balance. Energy must exchange. This is why many, many weeks ago I did a message that says your why is your paycheck. Because when you stop working to survive, you start living your why. You were not destined for poverty. You were not destined to struggle. You are destined for purpose. And when you aligned yourself with purpose and prosperity, you will find that you are like water finding the riverbed. You know, some of us, will say, man, this sounds too good to be true. And I want to ask you, why do you believe that? Everybody under the sound of my voice has the same opportunities, has the same abilities, has the same 24 hours in a day. And if I can do it, if you can do it, everybody can find their why. And I believe when you find your why, there's a self-transformation. There's a self-transformation that takes place. But I don't want to not finish this today without giving you some real truths. Because yes, there are going to be some obstacles in your way. But I want to show you what kind of obstacles there will be. A lot of us have to overcome some of these obstacles in order to master this session, the season of us coming into our why. A lot of times, one of the biggest obstacles is fear. False evidence appearing real, or some people believe finding everything and recovering. Fear. Sometimes we have fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of ridicule, fear of success. What if you're not good enough? What will people think? But let me remind you, fear is not real. And so that's why So I say to you guys, you need to be in communities like this with like-minded people. The second thing I wanted to say about obstacles is doubt. Doubt is fear's twin brother. They're twins, two sides of the same coin. What are you to think you can do this? Doubt convinces you that your dreams are too big, your gifts too small, your past too heavy. Doubt keeps you rehearsing half steps instead of full leaps. But here's the thing, doubt is always the loudest right before a breakthrough. The third one is going to be social conditioning. This is an obstacle, ladies and gentlemen. From childhood, you've been fed scripts that were never yours. Go to school, get a job, fit in, don't question, stay in line. Society rewards conformity, but pushes authenticity. Your why cannot thrive in conformity. Your why demands boldness. Your why demands rebellion. Your why even demands that you say, I will not live your script, I will live mine. The next obstacle that some of us deal with is the weight of past wounds. Trauma has a way of blinding us to our way. Betrayal, abandonment, abuse, failure. These leave scars, and if we are not careful, we begin to live out the wounds instead of the wonder. Your wounds are not your identity. They are your initiation. They are not your disqualification. They are the doorway into your power of why. You know, we coming out with our book called The Great Rewrite. And if this is your first time to our channel, you can always go back to the series called The Great Rewrite, where we talked about life being a movie and that everybody can be a part of that one person that you yourself can change your life. You can rewrite your script. You know, like I said before, life is a theater. The universe is the grand stage. The people around you are the co-stars, the extras. But you are the lead. And the problem that most of us deal with is that there's too many people as the background characters in their own story. You give away the lead roles to parents, partners, bosses, culture. But today, the role belongs to you. So a lot of times in life, we don't even play the role that we're supposed to be playing. We're playing the co-star. We're playing the extra. We, we're playing. But you once you come into your why, things begin to change, and you begin to look at your life from that different perspective. I believe that when you finally discover your why, you cannot just visit it occasionally. You must live it daily. Your why cannot be a weekend. It must be your oxygen. Your why cannot be a side note. It must be your headline. Living your why means every morning you wake up and ask yourself, am I aligned? Am I acting in character with the role my soul chose? And am I producing the life I was born to live? And remember, living your why is not about you, it's about legacy. You know, one of the things that I love about finding out your why is that your why does not stay the same. So when a person finds out the day they're born and then they find out why they're born, your why keeps evolving and growing. So it's not like I just found out my why today and that's it. No, no, no. That why grows as you grows. As you evolve, it evolves. And because remember, your why is encoded within you. And so it can only evolve as you evolve and grow as you grow. And so that's what makes it so great. That's what really, really makes it so great when you find out your why. And that's why I say you always need to make sure that you are speaking to yourself in affirmations, whether you do them out loud, or whether you do them mentally, meditation. I always like to speak to myself and say stuff like, I was born with purpose. I live with purpose. I walk in my way. I walk in the way. I walk in the way of success. I walk in the ways of greatness. I walk in the ways of prosperity. I do not shrink. I do not fear. I do not doubt. I embody the role of my soul. My life is not an accident. It is a masterpiece. My why funds me. My why fuels me. And my why fulfills me. You know, it's something about that why, ladies and gentlemen. That why. I believe that once you find out your why, there's a level of confidence. You stand boldly in your divine assignment. Of course, I believe that once you find your why, your life has a little bit of authenticity. No more wearing a mask, no more being somebody else. If you come into a level of ownership and transparency and say, wow, I get to be me. I don't have to be anybody else. I don't have to please anybody else. When you come into your why, it's really an amazing situation, ladies and gentlemen. Your why. I want you to ask yourself this question. What is my why? What is my why? Because once I found out my why, ladies and gentlemen, my why is my paycheck. My why is my wealth. I want you to talk to somebody today and say, what are the 2 most important days of your life? because I believe, ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's listening to me, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Those are the two. Those 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, will help you become a winner in the game of life. Listen, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for listening in. Please go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so, subscribe. Please also share this message. I want to give you the opportunity to donate, to sow into this ministry, to donate to the organization. There's a few ways that you can give. We have our Cash App, which is TOESC, $TOESC. All of the ways to give are in the description here, so as well. You also have the availability to give by PayPal or Zelle. And our PayPal and our Zelle are connected to our email, which is going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. Once again, that's going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. The other way that you can give is going to be the Venmo. And with Venmo, you can go ahead and you can email. The email for the Venmo is going to be Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY @gmail.com. IssaCarbay@gmail.com. Listen, those are the ways that you can give. We are forever grateful for all your donations. Those of you that sow into us, that love our message and want to give, that want to be a blessing, tremendously, thank you so much. Listen, we believe that everybody who sows, who gives into this ministry, who donates into this organization, we want you to know that we speak it into existence, that you will receive a 100-fold return, and that everything you begin to do and touch will be made manifest and will be made great. We speak it into existence, and so it is. I also want to thank all of you every week consistently who listen, who support, who get something out of this, who actually apply these lessons and these integral golden nuggets and apply them to your life. So we want to thank all of you as well for being consistent, being with us every week. Let everybody know we're here same time, same place every week. I want to say this one thing to all of you. Your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. And I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.